we are finally getting to the Mock Vienna. We did. Smells awesome. I have to admit, I have been tasting this beer a little bit more. This is not the first time I've tasted it. So just a little bit of full disclosure there. But yeah, so this is the Mock Vienna we did. Let's see. It was 10 pounds of Vienna, 1 Akara Munich 2, Hallertau and Tettnang, and then wound up using the San Diego super yeast on this one. Pitched at 69 degrees, cooled immediately to 65 in the fermentation chamber. So sat there for ages. December 14th I kegged it up, and final gravity was 1.012, so this ended up being like right at 6% ABV. And it's nice. You don't get hop really at all in the aroma, but you get a nice maltiness. Not like stouty, not like, you know, English brownie or anything like that. It's just a nice malty, just good old malty. So without further ado, here we go. Cheers. So yeah, the first thing that you get punched with is that maltiness. Vienna, it's a malty malt. Malto meal. No. Yeah, you get a nice strong malty flavor. The hops are there enough to counteract the sweetness, but it is kind of sweet. Maybe the Akara Munich 2 doing that. I kind of winged this recipe, so I was like, yeah, well, we'll see what happens, you know? Yeah, nice strong maltiness, a little bit of a caramely kind of character. I think it is probably the Akara Munich, because with a whole pound in there, if I did it again, I'd probably dial that back just because it's a little strong. I mean, Vienna malt is already going to be malty, so, you know, yeah, this is my first time ever using pretty much just full-on Vienna as a base. And it's good. It's avant-garde Vienna. If you're into kind of the sweeter German beers, Marzen-y kind of thing, you know, with a little bit more caramel character to it, this would be a good one for you. It's not as hoppy though as, you know, your Marzens and Oktoberfest, things like that. It's very malt forward. That's the best way to put it. I think if I did it again, I'd probably actually just nuke the Akara Munich. I may do that, just see how it turns out. 10 pounds of Vienna, same Hallertau and Tet on there. I think that'd be fine. The yeast seems to be just fine for it. Fermented nice and cool, and it's a clean strain anyway. It's a White Labs 090. Yeah, I can see why folks like it a lot. It's mellow, it fermented really fast, flocked out. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. But, oh, right there. So, you can see it's pretty darn clear for being as amber colored as it is. According to Beersmith, where are we at? Color. Does this one give me the color? I don't even remember. Yeah, I have no idea what the color is on it. I could probably look that up, but yeah. Mock Vienna, I think it was a success. I think I'd lighten up the sweetness a little bit. I like it a little bit crisper. But it's clearly going down the hatch. I followed this brew up with, so this fermented out completely, flocked out pretty much completely. So then I brewed up another test batch. It was an amber ale. I didn't film that one. I've been doing a lot of test batches lately, and I haven't wanted to film because I really was just playing around with stuff, and you know, I didn't want to put anything out there that could be misleading or, you know, be like, oh my gosh, that's the worst, and Joe recommended it, I'm not going to subscribe to that crap. So I've just been kind of experimenting on my own, and with the holidays, you know, it got crazy at the stores, so it was a lot to handle. But yeah, so brewed this November 22nd, and it is now January 25th. I believe, 25th or 26th, I can't even remember. Yeah, this is probably the longest I've ever let a beer set. Where I was going with that story is that, so I brewed this batch with the 090, the San Diego super yeast, and then racked it off into the keg. It was looking just clear. It was great. So I just was like, we'll just throw it in the keg, you know, purge it with CO2, and then just cold condition it in there, in the kegerator for as long as we can muster. And brewed up another test batch, which was an amber ale, and then just literally cooled the wort down and just threw it right on that cake, the yeast cake from the Vienna here, and I'm not joking at all, it was fermenting in 10 minutes. It was insane. I mean, the airlock pressurized right away, and then it kind of sat, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, we'll come back there. And then pretty much by the time I washed out the bucket and came back to check its temperature, it was bubbling. So it was a very happy tank. And the amber is I already drank the entire thing. It was phenomenal. I loved it. I've got, and that was another test with all Avant-Garde malt. 8 pounds of Avant-Garde Pale, 2 pounds of Caramel 60, ounce Cascade, then a half an ounce Cascade at 30, half at 10. So yeah, it was really, really good. I liked that one a lot. It was not nearly as malty as this, and I think that's why it's already gone. Just crisp. It had a good hop bite to it. The Cascade was a really nice one for that, so that was delicious. But yeah, I've never seen a fermentation start that fast after pitching on a keg. And like I said, this one fermented super clean. I don't get any cidery notes or any of those other weird flavors you get when, you know, fermentation is rushed. But that's what this yeast is known for. Really pretty quick fermentation. It flocks out like a rock, and then you're left with a really clean beer. So that's why I thought we'd do it, you know, do a mock lager with it. I've done White Labs 060 with fake lagers, or, you know, not fake lagers, but mock lagers, cream ales, things like that. Always turns out great, but I was like, you know what, let's try something else. Had to do some test batches anyway, so it's been good. Been good there. So yeah, I would do this one again, just minimize, I think, the caramel. I think I'd probably cut it down, cut it way back, or just knock it out entirely. At least with the Avant-Garde Vienna. Mainly because I don't know how other all Vienna, this is the first time I've ever used all Vienna. I think the only other times I've used Vienna malts have been, you know, more as just to beef up maltiness, so, you know, a pound or two in a standard base. So, but yeah, it's really, really tasty. It's not going to last very long. You know, my intention was to do a 30-day rest on it and then do the taste test. You know, fresh right out of the keg, never having tasted it before, on January 15th. And I'm learning that unless I put like a lock on my tap handles, it's just not gonna happen. So I've actually been brewing with a friend quite a bit to kind of beef up, fill up all the kegs, so that way I've got a lot of stuff aging and I've got a lot of stuff just sitting there. This is actually the last beer from all my brewing in the past pretty much 2 months left. It's the only thing in the keys are here, and but I'm looking at two, right, you can't see it here, but I have a Kolsch ready to go, well, cool conditioning, and then a stout I did. I'm calling it the Motor Oil Stout. It was actually based in 2 cans of hopped liquid malt extract, 1 Cooper's and 1 Muntons. So it's a beast. It was really bitter when I tasted it. So, and this is exactly why I didn't want to show it on YouTube, because I may do a taste test if you guys want me to see that one. But yeah, I took a sample of it and I was like, that's gonna take some aging, you know. I probably tasted this one 3 weeks after the start of fermentation, and it was already delicious. It's only gotten better. It's gotten smoother, a little creamier, you know, kind of mouthfeel to it. But yeah, just delicious. A little bit less caramel. I don't like really sweet things anyway, and so it's a little sweet for me. Could maybe up the hops. I don't know. If any of you guys have done these, like an all Vienna based recipe in a, you know, mock Vienna lager style, or even a Vienna lager itself. Did you just use 1 ounce of bittering and 1 ounce of flavor hops, or more or less? Kind of unfamiliar with this style. It tastes maltier, a little bit sweeter than other Vienna lagers I've had. There's a big, it's the oldest brewery actually, Millstream Brewing, and they've got a Vienna lager. Nothing like this. Much crisper. I like that one a lot better. Could be a dash more hops and probably like no caramel malts, and it's also several shades lighter than this. It's still got an orange kind of ambery hue to it, but it's not as dark as this one is. But yeah, overall a good beer. I'd do it again, but I would tweak it for sure. That's the fun part with experimenting though, trying out new stuff, tinkering with stuff, seeing what happens. I've got, so I got the Kolsch and the motor oil stout, as I'm calling it there, and then my friend Eric and I have been brewing at his place, so, and I didn't want to take YouTube into his home, but he may actually be making some appearances here soon. I've talked with him about it now, just thinking about it, and yeah, I think he may show it off. He does all electric brewing, which is really nice, especially it's, you know, the middle of winter here. It's really cold. I don't want to go stand out in the garage or, you know, spy from my window and make sure it's not boiling over. So been brewing over there with him, and we've got 2 test batches going there. One is a Czech Pils, which is a slight adaptation of a recipe we did the last year about this time, and then a Rausch beer, which with beech smoked malt by Weirmann. I'm really curious to see how that one turns out. He's doing his as a true lager. My fermentation chamber has the Czech Pils in it, so I was like, well, I can't do a lager. So instead I'm using Nottingham, but fermenting it really cool. Held it at about 61 degrees for 2 or 3 days. Didn't really see much activity going on, and so I then raised it up, just put it on some carpet actually, and it raised up just another degree or 2, and that kicked it off. So fermented really cool. It was like a low and slow kind of fermentation on that, which Nottingham, every time I use it, it explodes. So it was nice to not have to clean the airlock out. But so yeah, that's a couple batches I've got going there. So four different beers here, 2 in kegs, 2 still in buckets, and then we're already talking about doing another test batch of something, just something weird. I don't even know what we're gonna do, because got the smoky kind of beer, got a real light beer. He just did a whole bunch of stouts, so I don't think he's going to want to do that. And I've got the stout there. I got a super light Kolsch, so it's like, I don't know, maybe something hoppy? Maybe do like a pale ale or something? Play around with some new hops or something? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future's got for me. It's been kind of crazy around here, and with the end of year, you know, shout out to any independent business owners out there. Yeah, tax season sucks, and so like, I've just been so busy trying to prep tax and stuff. By the time I get home, I don't even think to, you know, touch base with YouTube. And I'm sorry it's been so long since I've made a video. It's just been crazy over here. Too many irons in the fire, you know. I was having a whole conversation with Nikki about how I always used to joke at, you know, executives having assistants and things like that, but I can honestly see where if you're a productive CEO, yeah, you need help, man. It gets overwhelming so fast, but you know, surround yourself with good people, find a way to make it happen. We're in a great industry because then we can come home and drink our, you know, research and development. So gotta love that. I've been talking a little bit to kind of let it warm up. I wanted to see what happened. So it is a little bit warmer. Even sweeter. I think I like this one cold. Great flavor though, that's the thing. I love the flavor, I just don't like how sweet it is. So, I think if I did the same grain, I'd absolutely beef up the hop. Zing it up a little bit, but then you probably are getting too, you're probably pushing the style, you know. This one, does it give me, I'm kind of new to these printouts. I typically don't print this stuff out, but yeah, of course it doesn't give me the IBUs for it. At any rate, I put this in Beersmith and kind of dialed it in until it was right down the center of the green. You know, if you guys are familiar with Beersmith at all, great software. It's my favorite. I love it. And it's tuned in precisely to my setup. Phenomenal. Yeah, I tuned it like right into the center of the green, so like completely within style guidelines. If you start adding hops to it, you know, it beef up the IBUs pretty fast because Viennas aren't supposed to be super hoppy. Yeah, I think though I would. It'd be a hybrid, you know, a Joe's Vienna Lager, you know. I don't know. BJCP 3J, or I don't know. I don't even know if that's a real one. I'm joking now. But yeah, so overall good beer. I hope you've all been well. I hope you had a great holiday and a very good New Year. It was nice for us. Got to see family. Haven't been down there in ages, so got to travel a little bit and see them. And it was nice. It was nice, relaxing. The new puppy. I mean, I haven't even done an update really with Finn with you guys, but he's doing good. Doing good. All the 2 dogs and the cat are getting along just fine. And yeah, you know, life is good. Trying out new stuff. Always learning. What else can you ask for, right? So, without further ado, I'll let you guys go. So, thanks for watching. Cheers. Let me know if you guys got any tips about Vienna lagers or mock Viennas. If you would change the recipes up, please do leave comments down there. I do read them all. It's hard to respond to them all nowadays, but I try. And yeah, I'd love to get your opinions and way that I could help make this a little bit better. Like I said, a little sweet for me, but overall just a delicious beer. My brother's been drinking it, Nikki's been drinking on it. I've had to stop drinking on it so that way I didn't drain the keg before shooting the video. So I'm glad we made it together. So cheers everyone, thanks for watching. We'll see you around.